Hey everyone. Before I get started, I just want to do a quick heads up for the month of October. Normally I post videos on Wednesdays and or Thursdays, but in October I really want to do a video on Friday the 13th, and I'm going to do a video on Halloween, which is actually on a Tuesday, so just thought I'd let you guys know. Now, on to today's subject. We live in the digital era, and something that people always kind of talk about is, or at least I think they feel like they do, is, will physical media ever really phase out? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say yes, I think it will, because, now just hear me out before, hold your triggered comments till the end. The thing is, for starters, technology has just advanced so much over the years and evolved so much, and it continues to evolve. Cast down here again. Case in point, take this old Transformers video. This is actually a VHS tape with a giant box. Now this is actually only one episode, despite this huge box. It's like the size of a 3DO game or something box. Anyway, the thing is, this was pretty common back then. 80s cartoons, you could get a single episode on a single VHS tape. So, you fast forward about 20 years later, you can get them on DVD, or more specifically, you can get like 8 episodes on a single disc. A few years after that, you can watch them all on Netflix, digitally. And that's the thing, because physical and digital media, I think people always kind of debate about this, like, oh, this one has too many flaws, that one has too many flaws, but to me, I think they're pretty even. Like, both sides have their ups and downs. Like, personally, I prefer physical media, but I don't mind digital, and if everything eventually went digital, which, it could be like 5 to 10 years from now, I don't know, if that happened, it'd be like, by the time, I think I'd be adjusted to it enough that I'd be like, this is cool, I'm cool with this or whatever. But the thing with, one of the things why I prefer physical is that it's like, I like to have it in my hands, take it out, put it in the system or whatever. But sometimes it's like, I just don't feel like digging it out. I'll just put on like Netflix or whatever. And that's the other thing about, speaking of DVDs, you know how a lot of people like to fall asleep with the TV on? Sometimes they'll put like a DVD or a Blu-ray on, fall asleep to. And the thing about that is, and I've told this to people before, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that, but they'll still do it. When you fall asleep with a DVD playing, or with a DVD on, the thing is, when the movie or TV show or whatever is over and it goes back to the menu screen, even though the movie isn't on, the disc is still spinning, and that can wear out the disc and eventually the player. So, but if you watch it on like Netflix or something, that's not really a problem. If you're falling asleep to it. And the other thing is that with something like hypothetically, let's say somebody, because I know people who have done this, if they have, you have like every game console from every generation, including the more obscure ones like the 3DO and the Atari Jaguar. Now let's say you have all these consoles and you buy specifically physical games for them. And the next number of years, and then we see like new consoles come out in the next maybe 2 generations, and you still buy physical games, and it's like, you're like, nope, no digital, all physical. Wouldn't you eventually run out of room in your game room? Out of space? Like, that's just a thought, I don't know. It depends on how big or organized your room is, I guess, but, that's why the thing with digital is that it's like, I know how it's like, if you have it like, that's one of the reasons I was never too fond of like all-in-one stuff. I've adjusted to it more over the years, but it's that it's like, even with like a smartphone or something, when you have like so much data saved onto one thing, and if that breaks, you lose everything. But there are ways to back it up, Cat's trying to open the door. With like USB drives or SD cards or whatever, so it's not completely flawed. Like I said, there's really flaws to both sides, and I know there's more to it than that, but And I know it's not the same as holding the physical thing. but it's people just, I think, change all the time. People can change. Like I used to, case in point, I hated widescreen DVDs, but then probably like 2006, I want to say, I started to get used to widescreen, and ever since then I preferred it. Like I said, people can change or adjust to stuff. It's just that some people don't want to, which is understandable. Where was I? The other thing is that it's like a lot of these companies just, I think it's no secret that sometimes companies are kind of anti-consumer. They don't really care about the consumer, they just care about the money. And that's the thing. I feel like, let's say in the next 5 to 10 years, 70% of people prefer digital media, while 30% prefer physical. Well, obviously the bigger number is going to win, so they're going to say, like, nope, we'll just focus more on digital, and we'll just, like I said, we'll just slowly phase out the physical. You'll still be able to find physical media, just not as much. I mean, that's the thing. What do you think killed Blockbuster, for example? Digital media. I mean, I'll admit I missed Blockbuster, well, more so the 90s aspect of it. I feel like in the late 2000s I went there and I was like, it's just really not the same. In fact, hell, a friend of mine, I think this was like 5 or 6 years ago, a friend of mine, we were on break at work, and there was a commercial on the TV for Blockbuster about they were doing this kind of, like, special, like, promotion or deal that you could get for if you were a customer, and it was just like, it just seemed like so pointless, and I said to my friend that I was like, Blockbuster? Yeah, just give up already. And he was like, oh, I know. Because he's like, oh, like, I think he was like the first, out of like our group of friends, I think he was the first one to get Netflix. And he actually, at one point, told me about the show Dexter, which, if you've never seen this, it's definitely worth checking out. It's so good. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to look into this. So I got the first season on DVD, and I watched the whole thing. I was, like, in a couple of days, I was so hooked. I got the second one on DVD, and then I kind of just started to, yeah. Anyway, I was like, this is crazy. It was like, so I never bought any more on DVD, so I'm just like, I'm gonna wait till truth be told, I don't have Netflix yet, so I was like, I'm gonna wait till I get Netflix, and then I'll just binge watch the whole series. I have a whole series that I'm gonna binge watch on Netflix, different shows. And that's the thing, like I said, and the other thing is, with digital media, and I know it's not the same as, like, physical, like, some people are like, it's not, but think of how it's good, it is good for all of us in a way, because think of how much plastic and paper they'll save, and obviously, like, money, because, like I said, if companies are gonna save money by going strictly digital, then they'll do it, but, so, I guess that's pretty much about it. So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think everything will eventually go to digital? Would you be okay with that? Let me know in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching.